Good morning. Today's date is Tuesday, December 13th. We've got a lot to get into today. A lot of moves taking place on Monday night, a lot of catcher moves, a few notes on the shortstops that are left, Correa and Swanson. We have a maybe too soon of a freak out, maybe not too soon of a freak out. Maybe it's just the right time to get the pitchforks and get ready to come after Jed Hoyer because, wow, a lot of things are happening. And guess who's not in on anybody despite what he's previously said? Um, it's all here. More. Let's just jump right into it. I don't know what's happening anymore. I really do not. I don't understand the market. I thought I did for last week. This week, I'm just broken. I'm completely broken. But there is one team today that has just been a pain in my side. Who was it?
Minnesota!
Yeah. The Twins. I'm sorry, Brandon. I really am. But your team is just starting to annoy me now, mainly because of the catcher that they signed. But we're gonna get to that in just a little bit. First, I want to go ahead and talk about the latest on Carlos Correa. But this kind of has to do with the Twins because, according to a report yesterday, they're one of two teams left in on Carlos Correa. I bet you can guess who the other one in is. Hint: it's not the Chicago Cubs. It is the San Francisco Giants because, like I said last time, they are sitting on they are just sitting on an absolute mountain of cash that they didn't get to give Aaron Judge. That why not go get Carlos Correa as the next bat available on the market? Like I said last time, Brandon Crawford's getting old. Move him over to DH or second base, whatever you got to do. But if you can go get Carlos Correa to be a shortstop, that's a team that wants to win. That's a team that wants to win. And of course, the rumors are also heating up that the New York teams are supposedly getting involved in the Correa sweepstakes, mainly because of how long that he has lasted on the market. It's not surprising to me that the New York Yankees are getting their feet wet on the situation. Why not? They can print money. The New York Mets, who have signed every other free agent this offseason, why wouldn't they get involved? Steve Cohen wants to win. Speaking of Steve Cohen, I guarantee you right now, if Steve Cohen and the Mets and Brian Cashman and the Yankees get involved in this Carlos Correa, the Cubs' chances of getting Carlos Correa drop to zero. They will not get him. If both New York teams, let alone one, gets involved in these sweepstakes, the Cubs will not get Carlos Correa. They have no chance because Jed Hoyer and his intelligent spending are not going to get into a bidding war with those two teams. Any one of them. He's not. Jed Hoyer's proven over and over again what intelligent spending means, and he keeps using this phrase. I don't think he know. I'm starting to worry that he doesn't know what it means. He just keeps saying it, hoping that it's going to click, and it just hasn't. But again, I am starting to give up on my Carlos Correa hopes, and instead, I'm starting to turn to the next guy, Dansby Swanson. I'm ready to say that he's our guy. Go get him. Go make him our guy. I'm ready for it. I've come to the reality that we need someone. And when John Morosi said yesterday that he still thinks the Cubs are the favorites to get Dansby and that he could see that contract being about 8 years, $200 million, there's no excuse now. That's less than Bogaerts. I mean, we all thought that Dansby Swanson was going to be the shortstop of the four that got the least. $200 million is cheap compared to what I thought. I told y'all 3 days ago on Saturday that I thought he was going to get 10 years, 260. But to be able to get 8 years for 200, That's a $25 million AAV. That's still in the Bryce Harper range that we talked about as being the sweet spot of the guy. If you want to go get the guy and still leave room to sign other impact players, that's the kind of contract you look for. And if Jed Hoyer hates long-term deals like those 10-year deals, how is 8 years staring you in the face like this? That's what you gave Jason Hayward. And I could argue that an investment in Dansby Swanson is not going to be Jason Hayward. The front office needs to get over this stigma that every long-term deal over 5 years is going to be a Jason Hayward signing. It's not. Jason Hayward was good for the contract that they gave him. No one saw what the drop-off that he had in 2016. No one saw that coming. No one. But to continuously be one of the top 3 markets in baseball and operate like this, like you're afraid to sign someone, it's maddening. It's maddening as a fan. You know, the market now is you sign these star players for 10 plus years. That's the current market. And I'm sorry, but I'm tired that we missed out on Bryce Harper when he wanted to come here. I'm tired that we missed out on Manny Machado. I am just so sick and tired of the Cubs being out on big name players, not even giving them a chance because intelligent spending. BS. That's not intelligent. Intelligent spending, Jed, is going and getting a guy to make other guys want to come to your team. If I'm a big name free agent, why would I want to come to Chicago right now? Why would I want to go play for the Cubs right now? I wouldn't, because the prospects might be good. None of them have hit the major league level yet. In fact, it's the opposite. They're all hurt. They're all hurt besides Matt Mervis. And go ask the White Sox how that worked. Eloy Jimenez is injury prone now because with that hamstring. Luis Robert is starting to become injury prone. Yohan Moncada has had significant time on the injured list. Miguel Amaya, Brennan Davis. God, start wrapping PCA in bubble wrap now. I don't understand this. I really just don't. And the fact that Morosi also said that a really, quote unquote, really lucrative deal could get Dansby to agree to come to Wrigleyville for 7 years. He's throwing you a bone, Jed. He's throwing you a bone. He's telling you he wants to come here. There's only, as a big name free agent, there's only, if you want to be somewhere, there's only so low that you can be willing to go. Ask Red Sox fans how that went with Xander Bogaerts. Xander said that he wanted to go back to Boston. He really thought that he was going to end up back in Boston. But when a team like the Padres comes along and just throws the bank at you, how do you say no to that? How do you say no to that as a human being? If the Red Sox are offering you, let's say $180 million, and then the Padres come along and offer you an extra $100 million guaranteed, you can't say no to that. You just can't. So the reports are that the Cubs are still the favorites to get Dansby Swanson. I don't know what these insiders and all these analysts are watching because I would say the Cubs are the farthest thing from getting Dansby Swanson. I don't think we're going to get anybody now besides maybe 1 year deal relief pitchers, and that's going to be it. It's really sad from where we were a week ago, because a week ago we were all waking up to these reports that the Cubs could possibly get Bogaerts and Swanson. We were talking 2 shortstops. Cubs Twitter was a great place to be. And now it's what a week. What an absolute week it's been. The Braves are probably out on Swanson because they've had all this time to give him a good contract. The Dodgers are supposedly getting in the mix now. And then you got to wonder, does the loser of the Correa sweepstakes between the Giants and the Twins, do they get involved? Because I guarantee you those front offices wouldn't balk at the chance to get Swanson if they miss on Correa. Not like Jed Hoyer has. It's really sad. This is really, really just depressing as a Cubs fan. So last night, Monday night, it was catcher mania. a lot of catcher moves went down last night. So it kicked off with Sean Murphy, the catcher from the Athletics that we all thought, oh, maybe Jed will kick the tires on. Yeah, I'm sure Jed's kicked the tires on everybody, much less. Is he available? Oh, okay. Bye. And then that's probably it. But Sean Murphy gets traded from the Oakland A's to the Atlanta Braves in a deal that saw William Contreras, brother of our old pal Wilson, get traded to the Milwaukee Brewers because, of course, he did. Why would it? Because it wasn't enough having one Contreras brother torment us at Wrigley Field for the next 5 years. Now we're gonna have both of them. Yeah, the universe really said, nah, let's do both. These two, Wilson and William, they are going to prepare yourselves. Mentally, prepare yourselves for this. Because these two are going to absolutely wreck us. Any chance that they get for the next 5 years. The next 5 years, they will take every opportunity. If you don't think that Wilson Contreras' first home run at Wrigley Field in a Cardinals uniform is going to be like the bat flip he did at Guaranteed Rate Field where during the COVID season he bat flipped to the moon. If you don't think he's going to do something like that, just prepare yourself. It's going to be ugly. He is going to torment us. They're both going to. They are both going to torment us. I'm just telling you that right now. I only ask that, Wilson, should you ever hear of this moment right now, I just ask that if you do get that first home run at Wrigley Field, I want you to bat flip. I want that thing to get all the way. I want it to be roof level. Wrigley Field, roof level. And then your entire trip around the bases, we all know where Tom Ricketts sits next to the Cubs dugout. We all know where he sits. I want you your entire trip around the bases. Please just stare at the man. Just stare at him. Because we don't know where Hoyer is. Make Tom feel the heat. Because I got nothing, man. I got nothing for this right now. And then here's the Twins part that is just, it's absolutely killing me. Christian Vasquez signs with the Minnesota Twins for 3 years, $30 million. That's $10 million per year. We couldn't have done that. We couldn't have done that. We couldn't have topped that. Well, we need to understand something. This was the guy. We were told by all these outlets that this was the guy that Jed wanted to go after and let Wilson just walk, virtually walk. Sure, you got the comp draft pick, but is that really going to turn into anything? This is not the NFL. This is not the NBA. This is not the NHL. If it turns into something, great, I eat my words. But is it really? Is it though? I don't know. But Christian Vasquez, this is disgraceful as a Cubs fan. This is not a knock on the Minnesota Twins. They are operating like they actually want to win now. So hats up. My hat is off to the Minnesota Twins organization. You're trying. You're trying to compete. You're trying to win. That's not something I can say about my team right now. What's the plan, Jed? I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just really disappointed. I would just really like to know. You did nothing. You said you put offers on the table, but have you? I haven't seen any leaks. Bogart signed over a week ago, and we've seen what the Padres offered Judge and missed out on. We saw what the Padres offered Turner and missed out on. Why haven't we seen what the Cubs offered Xander Bogaerts that he turned down? Why haven't we seen that? Granted, of course, someone probably has to leak that out, but is it going to be one of those things like when we found out that the White Sox put offers in for Manny Machado, and then we saw that they were all $60 million plus lower than what other teams were offering, or something's up. Something's got to be going on, and I'm guessing it's intelligent spending. Wake up. Wake up. Look at what the rest of the league is doing. This is not the mid-2000s anymore. We are in 2022. The market is not what it was over a decade ago. Guys are getting longer deals. Guys are getting more money. And if you are uncomfortable with that, then you should not be operating the Chicago Cubs. If you want to spend like this, go look for a job with the Oakland A's. Go look for a job with the Tampa Bay Rays where they're consistently shedding payroll every single season. The only thing is, the Rays are doing it right. The Rays are always in the playoff talk. In late September, they're always in it. We're not. We're done by June. I don't get it. What was the point? What was the point of anything? all of my predictions have sucked so far that I gave you 3 days ago. And wow, Vasquez to the Twins. Sean Mania yesterday, the starting pitcher that if we missed out on Senga, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we could give him a try. He's the hometown kid. No, he just signed with the Giants for 2 years, $25 million. 12.5 a year. Couldn't have afforded that as the Chicago Cubs. Kodai Senga, of course, signs that 5-year, $75 million deal with the Mets. Steve Cohen gives him $15 million a year. We couldn't have done that as the Chicago Cubs, apparently. You know, it's really hard to believe that Jed gave Cody Bellinger 17 and a half. I don't understand that now. Well, of course, it's the 1-year deal. Jed Hoyer loves one-year deals. That's all we sign guys to. What was the point of signing Bellinger and Taillon? Well, seriously, that's a legitimate question right now. What was the point? Because this is starting to feel like last offseason all over again, where we signed a starter and we signed an outfielder, and then that was it. We did minor moves the rest of the way. This is not a team that's trying to compete. If this is all you do, like I said, if this is all you do, Bellinger and Taillon, while they're great players and they have the potential to be great players, this is Suzuki and Stroman all over again. We love signing one pitcher and one outfielder, and then, okay, we're done. We're good. We're good. Wake up, Jed. Ticket sales are dropping. This is going to be the biggest drop since 1997 in ticket prices. You think the Ricketts are happy with that? You think Crane Kenny is happy with that? You're in trouble, my friend. Just from what I know, Cubs Twitter, we all react rationally, of course, right? We react rationally. But I have not seen the calls for Jed Hoyer to be on the hot seat nearly as much as I did last night, especially when the Vasquez news broke. And, you know, there's going to be people that say, oh, Cubs fans love mediocre pitchers. Catchers. Cubs fans love average backup catchers. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's letting the number one leader in your offense last year, who happened to play catcher, walk to your arch rivals because we were told that, oh, we're going to go get this guy because we want to go defensive-minded catcher. Yes, we have Yan Gomes still. I love Yan Gomes. I really do. But he just signed with the Twins for chump change in baseball. Like, something's up. Something's up. And I firmly do believe that Jed Hoyer is on the hot seat now, because you start to look at the puzzle pieces of this. Tom Ricketts comes out and publicly says, Jed, spend the money. That report came out that Ricketts gives Hoyer the green light to spend money to improve the team. That is out in the universe right now. Then a few days later, Crane Kenny, president of business ops for the Cubs, publicly says that Jed has the money to spend, and he didn't spend it all last year. We were all okay with Suzuki and Stroman last year. I was okay with it because I knew what to expect in 2022. 2023, we were told that this team was going to be better. We were told that they were going to fix the offense, and this team was going to compete in 2023. I guess that's our fault for not realizing that they were going to compete for a top 5 draft pick and not a wild card spot. But this does have the feeling that it is the beginning stages of turning Jed Hoyer into the organization's scapegoat. It's hard to live in a world where if these free agents, if they keep signing with teams on deals that the Cubs could not only easily match, but also outspend by multiple millions of dollars, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. We don't have the guy. I will say it until it happens. But the smartest thing Dave Dombrowski did for the Philadelphia Phillies was sign Bryce Harper to the 12-year, $330 million deal, because that signaled to the rest of baseball and the upcoming free agents, we've got our guy, come play with him. We want you to come play with him. We don't have a John Lester on this team. John Lester was the one that kicked off the last championship window. He opened that last. We don't have that guy on this roster yet. We do not have that guy on this roster. We do not have this guy in Iowa. We do not have this guy in Tennessee. We do not have this guy in South Bend. We don't have this guy in Myrtle Beach. You have to go get a star player. One star player to bring in the rest, because John Lester was that guy. He was the guy. I talk about a lot about guys being guys. Like Justin Fields for the Bears is a guy. John Lester was the guy in 2015. 2014, I think he signed going into the 2015 season. Yes. It's not Nico. It's not Saya. It's not Ian. He is not on this roster yet. I don't look at the Cubs roster and see, I have to go play with that guy. That's not a knock on anybody on the roster. Please don't get me wrong. That's just the Cubs have not done anything to signal that they're ready to compete again. They've done minor moves, but you need a major move. If you want to be competitive in 2023 in what is still a winnable division, the AL Central is probably most likely the worst division in baseball, but the NL Central is not much better than that. The Cardinals are the only ones to have done something significant with the Wilson Contreras signing, and what makes it so significant, it was addition by subtraction from another team in the division. That's what makes that even juicier for them. But the Cubs are in a unique situation where it's not like you're the NL East where you're competing against the Braves, Phillies, Mets to spend on the big name guys. You're competing with the Cardinals and Brewers. While in recent history, they've been very successful organizations, though these St. Louis, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, they don't have the financial resources to compete with the Cubs. They shouldn't. But the Cardinals have spent a lot more than the Cubs over the last 5 years on getting better. And look at where they've been. They've been in the postseason. They've been winning wild card games. I don't get it. Jed, Dansby Swanson is just sitting at home, and he's begging you to pick up the phone and call him. How you have not picked up the phone, call him, and said, Dansby wants you to be our guy in Chicago. Here is our offer to you. Take it. Let's make something happen. Why isn't that not happened yet? Bellinger and Tyon cannot be the only moves this team makes, or it is going to be a failure of an offseason, and we're going to be right back where we were next year at this time. You know, even just peeking a little bit ahead to 2024, Rafael Devers, I would love to have Rafael Devers on the Cubs, but right now, at this moment in time, I would tell you that the Cubs have a 0% chance of getting Rafael Devers because of everything that has taken place so far. I'm sorry. I would love to move Rafael Devers to third base and move Patrick Wisdom over to first. That would be great. Wisdom and Matt Mervis could split time. Morel could split time in center, at short, at second. Morel is like your Ben Zobrist. Christopher Morel is going to be like our Ben Zobrist. He's going to be the super utility player that can play basically anywhere. We're not getting Rafael Devers. And everyone's like, oh, maybe he's saving the money for Shohei. Maybe he's saving the money for Ohtani. I'll tell you right now, he is not saving the money for Ohtani. If they were not in on Judge, if they're out right now on Carlos Correa, they're not getting Shohei Ohtani, because Shohei Ohtani is going to make more money than Carlos Correa. He's going to make more money than Aaron Judge. He is going to get a Mike Trout level deal, and the Cubs are not going to give that to him. I will tell you right now, especially when they're going to be competing with the other 29 other teams in this league that would be better with him on roster. Probably, let's say, 24 of them are realistically going to be in on him. Are the Cubs one of those 24? Right now, I don't think so. But of course, we'll get, we put an offer out. There's an offer on the table for him. It's not going to, that's not saying it's a good offer. But this is our reality. This is our reality. I think Jed Hoyer might officially be on the hot seat. I think that if he's not, that seat is starting to get warmer because the pieces are in place to turn him into the scapegoat. And if the Cubs don't win 80 games this year, that may be a little rough, but you've had 2 off seasons to fix this thing now. You cannot be bad in 2023. You cannot be. The only thing that might save his job next year is the fact that a lot of these top guys aren't expected to hit Wrigley until 2024. So if not next the winter, definitely the winter after. But You got to do more than this. You got to do more than this if you want to compete for a playoff spot. We'll keep monitoring the news over the next few days. Of course, if the Cubs do decide to do anything significant, we'll hold an emergency broadcast, emergency pod. We'll see what happens. I'm not optimistic about it, but hey, stranger things have happened. I've been surprised before. One can only hope that we're cooking something up, but right now I really don't think we are. I am preparing myself for the reality that the Cubs are done and they are content with Bellinger and Tyon, and they're just going to sign some minor relievers for depth in the bullpen. I really think that that's what's going to happen. I would love to get Trey Mancini. I know I haven't talked about him this episode. Trey Mancini's still sitting there. You could go get him. Go get him to split time with Matt Mervis now. The lineup would be better with Trey Mancini. I'm telling you that right now. But if anything happens, we'll get it out there. We'll get it on the Facebook page. We'll get it on the Twitter page at @into_the_Ivy23 on Twitter. Look us up on Facebook, Into the Ivy. Really exciting stuff coming up. These are exciting times, as I love to say. And hopefully we've got one coming. Until then, as always, go Cubs, baby.